Awesome. Thank you guys, and thank you, Sam, for that introduction. I, as well, have no idea what I'm going to talk about, but we're going to wing it. So I'm super new as far as like being a presenter. I honestly, like, I had a complete and total fear of public speaking, but since June, I joined BNI as Sam mentioned. I also ended up joining some other networking groups, and then shortly afterwards joined Upper Tampa Bay Chamber. So between like everything that I've been a part of, I've had the opportunity to get in front of people and speak. The last one actually was with my kids' Great American Teach-In, and so that was a totally different atmosphere. So it's different to talk to you guys as adults versus 7th graders versus 6th graders who are like, this is boring, I want to go to recess. And then 1st graders, the tiniest of the crowd. So that was really interesting. But anyways, so this has got our logo. We Clean Better Under Pressure is our hashtag, all of my contact information. And to be honest with you, when I did my original presentation, I did not use the PowerPoint that I worked so hard on. So it's kind of new and interesting and a surprise for me as well. Quick, who we are. So we've got a couple pictures up here. Whoops, went one too far. So, you know, like we have a lot of core values that we like to keep at the forefront. And one of them is being to make sure that we put our family first, which is why we went into business for ourselves. You know, it's really difficult when you're working for somebody else if the kids are sick or injured or something comes up, and then having to, and even though sometimes I had really amazing bosses, right? Like I still felt terrible about it, where now it's like, oh, like it's only me. Like I don't have to give anybody an explanation. I know what's going on. But anyways, on the top, you'll see the photo from our wedding. We're missing one of our sons there. But we had the opportunity to visit a really great friend of mine that I've known since high school, Melinda, out in Hawaii, and take the kids for that. Both of our girls are dancers, so we got a couple photos there. I get really involved even before like Upper Tampa Bay and volunteering with here and all this sort of stuff. My whole life, and really our whole lives, have always been centered in volunteering, whether it's church experience or you know, with the Chamber of Commerce or the kids dance recital or Girl Scouts. And shameless plug real quick, when it's cookie season, I have 2, not just 1. So let me know what you need. We've got you covered. So now to the business, and this is what we do. Now, I'm probably going to end up overwhelming you, and I don't know what I had on these things, so I'm probably going to overwhelm you. But if you don't remember anything at all about all the stuff that I say, our biggest moneymaker is those roofs. So when you see a roof that's got green and black over here on the soffits and the fascia, that means it's coming down from above. So that needs to get cleaned. So that's when I definitely want you to let your neighbor know, or let your, you know, people at your synagogue or your church or your restaurant know, hey, I got a friend who can like take care of that for you. Because what's going on is we are in the state of Florida. It's a petri dish, right? So everything is just constantly growing mold. It's growing algae. It's just, you know, like we had the whole COVID thing, and which affected our lungs and stuff like that. Well, what do you think all this organic growth is doing out there too? And by a show of hands, can I see how many people like regularly wash their car through the car wash? Okay. So I'm assuming that your car probably cost about like maybe a quarter of what the cost of your house was, right? So if you're going to take care of the car and wash it more than, let's say, once a year, we definitely think we should probably wash our more valuable investment, which is a house, you know, on a regular basis as well. So there's just some pictures here at one of the jobs that we did. That is all the stuff that came out of the gutters up there. And you guys don't realize, like, it gets clogged up. I mean, it wasn't that long since they had gotten it cleaned before, but boom, there it is. This is a home where we ended up doing. So these are the things that you're looking for. And then here's just a nice picture of my husband up here taking care of this roof. So one of the things that Sam was mentioning with the other services, so yes, we do pressure washing services. And typically I used to always just say, we're pressure washing, we're pressure washing, we're pressure washing. The reason why is because 90% of the people have no idea that there's different techniques. So pressure washing is what you only want to see when we go on flat surfaces. You're never going to use pressure when it comes to things like the outdoor furniture, the fences, the roof, anything like that. Pressure washing is going to be done here with these type of surfaces. And really, I'm just kind of flipping through these so you can see like some before and after photos, right? So When you're going on the ground, it's fine to use something that is actually going to use pressure to take off, the dirt and the grime. When you're going back here over to like the fencing area and stuff like that, if I were to use pressure on this, I could blow a hole through it. You don't want to do that. Same thing with the roof. You could actually damage your shingles. All those granules that are on your roof should stay intact on your roof. So what ends up happening is we use a technique called soft washing, where you're applying a product that's going to eat away all the organic growth and leave it looking clean. Just like when you go to use your Lysol off of your tables, or when you're using the car wash soap on your car, So I always, again, with the car wash look or whatever, what I always have people picture is like, when you go to a car wash and they use the spot-free rinse, and they use the little machines where it's spot-free versus the one that's got the paddles. And when you use the paddles, sometimes you leave like little tiny scratches in your paint. I don't know if you've had that happen. It happens to me if I don't get a good wax job beforehand. So that's the difference there. It's including a product that's going to help to just get everything removed versus, putting a lot of extra muscle grease. In fact, when it comes to a wooden fence, the other day I did an estimate, and I noticed that one of the neighborhoods in this property had already tried doing just their section of the wooden fence, right? Because it's by a property management company who's going to pay to get all of it cleaned, right? But the one neighbor thought he was doing a good job, so he did the one section, and you could see where it was splintering because he used pressure on it. So that's one of the reasons why I always tell people, even if you don't use our services, which I hope you do, because at the end of the day, like, people do business with people that they like and they trust, and I hope you like me, hope you trust me, but if you don't, I understand. But always do your due diligence research. There's been so many like terrible stories that I've heard while networking of people where their plants got completely demolished and destroyed because they didn't do the pre-treatment of the plants first. So then they got all dried out from the bleaches and whatever other products that they were using. And I've heard a lot of other horror stories where they've destroyed like the vinyl siding of the fences of the homes and like all that sort of stuff. So just make sure they know what they're doing is the bottom line there. So of course, we do the sides of buildings. Oh, this is actually one of my favorite ones to see. This is what it looked like. And when she told us it was white, I didn't even believe her. And that is after you put the product on before it got rinsed off. And then that's what it looked like after we rinsed it off. When we rinse it off, we're literally using the same type of pressure that is coming out of your garden hose. It just looks fancy because it's coming out of the machine. What I taught my first graders, though, that day was, even though people who are professionals and know better are not using pressure, never walk in front of those wands because you don't know if that person knows what they're doing or not and if there's pressure on that thing. But the wand that we use, when we turn it the right way using this X-Jet nozzle, boom, you can like put your hand in front of it, no problem. So there's that. All right, so I have no idea how much time I've been doing so far. I need like a 2-minute timer or something. Okay, cool. Oh, good. All right, so biggest money makers for us are going to be our homeowners that are part of an HOA. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when you're like within the HOA, they're not going to pay for your roof to get done, but they're definitely going to give you the nasty gram, right? So I actually want to get with the HOA presidents that are in the communities and stuff like that. Because if they wanted to offer it as an HOA fee and we were to actually go down the neighborhood from one lot to the next and have 80 different units, it would come out at a much more discounted rate versus I do yours this week and then 2 months later I do this one over here and then I do this one over here. You know what I mean? Like we can offer, especially when we know that we're going to come back over and over and over again, better pricing with that. Business owners. Love my churches that we've done, love the community centers, and the reason why is because, okay, we went and did First Community Church, and now everybody in their congregation is like, it looks amazing. Who did you use? So that has been feeding us all year long. Honestly, besides the other networking groups that I've been a part of, my second heaviest hitter that we get the most referrals from is our first church job. Like almost everybody in their congregation has called and requested us. So that's been really awesome. Love meeting anybody who is in the trades industry, real estate industry, my painters, my roofers, my floor people. We all kind of end up working hand in hand, and then it's like a little cycle. It's like, okay, the other day I went to the dance studio and I was looking at the floors and I'm like, oh, I know somebody for them to call. I got to find out if they have this special flooring though, because it's something unusual, And then here's my call to action. So I would love if you, have any trust in me, if you've gotten to know me over the past couple months and stuff like that, if you could like us or review us if we've done work for you on any of these social media areas or whatever, that would be amazing. Even if I have not done any work for you, just like us and follow us. And then hopefully you'll have an actual, what is the word I'm looking for? The thing to comment. What is it called? A review. Thank you. A review to do later. There we go. And then I would absolutely love to be introduced to more James Grants. Every James Grant that send them my way. So cool. Yep. Oops, that's it. So that's all I got. Yay! Thank you. Yes. Oh, and one more that I forgot to go over. So I went over soft and I went over pressure washing, right? So there's actually a third one, and it's called power washing. It's funny because we have it listed as power washing services because it's, again, the word that people are familiar with. But power washing would utilize a machine that uses heat to get rid of the gums that are stuck on the grounds and stuff of that nature too. So, yeah, go ahead.
Chemicals on blue houses.
Chemicals on blue houses. What do you mean by blue houses?
We had just painted our house, had a guy come out and he was pressure washing our back patio and decided that the house, I don't know why he pressure washed our house. Our house was literally just painted days before. And this chemical
ran it down, yeah.
I've seen that happen.
Yeah.
It was awful. We had to redo it, but
yeah. They're not doing it the right way. In fact, here, you speak to that.